Oh, hello. Welcome to the 2013 Hundie Challenge. Today we're going to be discussing The House of the Dead by Edie Falco. Dee-doo-dee-doo-doo, dee-doo-doo-doo-doo-dee-doo-doo-doo, dee-doo-dee-doo-doo, dee-doo-doo-doo-dee-doo-doo-doo. I didn't really grok this book. I guess part of that could be because I listened to it on the audiobook, and I found that if it's a book I'm not getting, I'll get it even less when I listen to it on audio. Which is not to say that books that I like I don't understand on audio. I listen to Native Son that way. Or for that matter, that books that I read, physically, I will also not get, like To the Lighthouse. In any case, it's entirely possible that that's part of it. It's also possible that this is one of those weird, what do they call them? Comedy of manners. Obviously, it's not from the 19th century, but I'm guessing that it's from right at the edge, right at the beginning of the 20th century, so that was still in vogue. And these books they're feminine books. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But I don't know that I'm the audience that it's for. I don't get them. I don't understand what's supposed to be appealing about them. I didn't hate Sister Carrie. I mean, I think when I made that review, I said I didn't really care for it. But it wasn't really all that bad in terms of these sorts of books that are just about oh, well, I have to behave a certain way because of my class, and I couldn't possibly interact with anybody of the lower class. Like we're in Regency England and not in 20th century America. Which, I mean, I guess it must have been true to the time. I don't know. I didn't really study that era very closely in school or otherwise. This book was about a woman named Lily Bart, who I feel like I've heard that name before, so maybe she's one of the more famous literary characters. And I also think I'm reaching the end of this challenge, so you can tell I'm just referencing all of the other books. Funny enough, something I've never mentioned before. When you read these books, you start to notice that they're all referencing one another, sometimes straight up. Like the ones that are written in the 50s and the 60s and 70s that were with well-read people, they reference all the books from the 40s and the 30s, like Studs Lonigan comes up and that sort of thing. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I just don't have a whole lot to say about House of Mirth, so I'm kind of trying to pump this up. Otherwise, it'll be like one of those 30-second ones where I go, "Ugh," and I'm sick of doing that. Unless you guys really like that, I could just go, what the fuck, I didn't get it. Anyway, this is going to be relatively short. I say relatively because I always talk loquaciously up to, 20 minutes. This one's going to be more like 4 or 5 minutes. So Lily Bart... Oh, right. What I was going to say was, I think when I was reading the one that was about the truck, the guy that got hit by the car. Why can't I think of that? Oh, The Magnificent Ambersons. I was saying there aren't a whole lot of stories about people that go from riches to rags. It's usually from rags to riches, and then you're successful at the end of the book. And I thought that book was unusual. I guess it's not as unusual as I thought, because I've actually read a couple of books like that this year, like House of Mirth, like Sister Carrie, which I already mentioned. Well, I'm getting really fucking referential here, so forgive me. But hopefully you've been following along with me and reading along, right? So you should be all caught up. Anyway, she starts out really wealthy, and she's an idiot, and she pisses it all away, and she ends up in poverty, but she still kind of keeps her honor because when she finally gets this $10,000 that she's been counting on from her inheritance from her aunt or whatever, she instead of going to live like a humble life, she pays off her debts and kills herself with sleeping pills. And it was one of these comedies of manners that I just don't get. So, sorry, didn't like it. Maybe you will. If you're a lady, I suspect... If you're, I think this is more geared towards women. Sorry. But thanks for tuning in. We will see you next time.